be hopping on shortly. Hey, awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
Hey, Gizmo, can you hear me?
yep, I can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. So, first of all, everyone joining us today, uh, we're
Yeah,
gonna we're gonna have a talk. We're gonna speak with Gizmo Magnetic. Gizmo has been holding down. I just want to share my perspective, my view. But Gizmo's been holding down animation all throughout LA and even outside of LA. He's been really holding down the style, and he has his own unique flip on animation, which is called Tron style. But we may get into it, we may not.
yeah,
But Gizmo, I appreciate you taking time to share the history of what's really going on. Because I know animation, we talked briefly yesterday on the phone, but just for everyone watching, animation has been a hot topic now. A lot of people
yeah,
are talking about it. There's more events about it. There's already figures in the community that people look up to and they look
yeah,
for knowledge. So we wanna. My intention is to ask the people that have been around, that really been around, to share their stories so that everyone, the viewers that are watching, you can take this information in. You can, oh wow, learn something new today you may not have known.
yeah,
So, without further ado, yeah, Gizmo, I appreciate you coming on.
yeah. I'm just got off work, but yeah, it's you know, I've been um I've been pushing this animation stuff since 2000. Since I got the style from Deuce. So Deuce is
Mm,
the one that opened my eyes up to this whole style. It wasn't me per se. It was Deuce. So I got to give it up to Deuce. Rest in peace. He's the one that opened up my eyes.
mm,
Again, as a kid, I was just basically doing the basic overall pop locking, which was pretty much for us in Los Angeles County. It was based upon ticking, waves, tutting, and just popping. So that was
mm.
pretty much the generalized styles that were there that were done. So when
It,
I met
it,
Deuce, I'm the
mm,
one he kind of like introduced me to that whole style. It was
mm.
cool. Yeah.
And what was Deuce's like? Was Deuce known as like a robot, or what was his background? What was his?
Well, you know, the big homeboy, rest in peace. Deuce basically was he wasn't a dancer per se at first. Deuce was a gang member. So Deuce
Mm,
growing up in Los Angeles, in the 70s, he would have been around 62 years old if he was still alive. But Deuce was raised in the 70s, and Deuce was pretty much introduced into the style um of that street style. It wasn't pop locking yet. It was just LA robotics style dancing, which was like the mid 70s. So
mm,
Deuce was introduced it at Fremont. It was a
mm,
girl, and Deuce was trying to mimic certain things that he saw, but he was introduced it from a guy named Boogaloo Beasley,
mm,
and Boogaloo Beasley was a real well known guy on the east side of LA. He was very well known for his robotics and pantomime and things of that nature. And he
mm,
went to Fremont.
mm.
So he really that was his idol. His idol was Boogaloo Beasley.
Mm.
And he was not a dancer. Deuce was just a standby looking like, wow, this is pretty tight. So
Right.
basically, that was his inspiration. It was Boogaloo Beasley.
Okay.
And so he started to learn on his own, as kids growing up. Everybody used to just watch on the sidelines, and then they would mimic. They would go home, try to imitate what they seen, and that's what happened. So,
Mm,
and from there on, Deuce was, starting to try to like, work with the style, but he
mhm,
wasn't good, So, um, there was a battle that he had with a girl, at Fremont, and he was just a closet, dancer. He wasn't really serious with it, and she beat him, and
okay.
that's when he started to really, wanted to learn how to do things a little bit more.
Mm,
He wanted to advance his skill level because he was
oh,
embarrassed.
okay. And
Yeah,
this when was this? Like in the 70s, you said?
I would
Like
say 76, 77 around that
okay.
time because
So,
he was yeah started seeing the dance around I would say yes. From what I understand, he told me it was like the top of 77. Yeah,
okay.
1977.
And 77 and prior to that, people were doing robot. That was the main style, would you say?
Yeah, but the basic overall style in Los Angeles County is a very, very big area. So on the west side of LA, which is the mid city, you had guys over by the Adams district, La Brea, um Uni High, LA Uni. Dudes were doing different styles, and pretty much on the east side of LA, which is like a little past Central on the east side. They call it the low bottoms, that whole area from, you know, going up Central from 59, they call it the low bottoms, and then you go up to the 70s. That whole area was pretty much more or less sticking to robotics. Robotics was very, very the first style that a lot of guys really wanted to do. It was robotics, then came locking,
Mm.
and then you had pantomime, and then you had the last part, which was stop motion animation.
Okay.
So,
So, continue, continue.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so 76 Deuce now he's taking it serious, you were saying.
Well, I would
Around
say he started taking it serious around 77.
77.
From what he communicated to me is that when he had that battle with that girl, I forgot her name. He got embarrassed. You know, when I mean a battle, it was like a spontaneous exchange, and Deuce got embarrassed, and he was pretty not like upset, but he wanted to get better. So
Okay.
that's when he started to like take it serious. You know.
Okay, okay. And then when does, because correct me if I'm wrong, was Deuce did Deuce animate?
Um, yeah. Later on down the line, Deuce started doing animation around, from what I understand, 79,
Hmm.
80, 81. He said by 82, 81, he was like pretty much advanced, you know? So he
Okay.
started getting involved with, again, he started, seeking other guys, Bop and Andre.
Right.
He was around Triplet, Anthony Dooney Triplet. Um, he loved Tick and Dave style. He loved T Tiger, rest in peace. So these are a couple of the top notch dancers that
Hmm.
was really famous. The Robot Brothers, John, Chris, and Pat.
Hmm.
Um, it was so many different dance groups that were prominent. I mean,
Oh,
it's a lot. You had Gaggy,
wow.
Mama,
Hmm.
a lot of people, man. It was a whole plethora of a lot of good robotic street style dancers all through that east side of LA. A whole
Okay.
lot of them.
Okay. So robots, during this time, robot is the style that is you seeing everywhere, groups doing. When did animation start to when did that start to come up and people started talking about animating or animation? Or I know stop motion, which is a different way of when did that start to become popular in LA, would you say?
Well, from what I was told, you got to remember, I'm 50, about to be 51. So
Hmm.
from what I was told from, the sources, which is Deuce, my main source of stop motion animation, he was like, again, pop, these movies were very popular. Everybody was taking their inspiration from these different movies. Like you had the Beast from 20,000 Leagues, all kind of different movies. You had a plethora of different movies. You had Jason, the Seven Boys of Sinbad. You had King Kong. That came out in 1933. King Kong was doing stop motion. That movie was all based on stop motion animation. So it was a lot of movies that a lot of guys used to look up to and watch as entertainment, even I as myself. So basically, you know, um, I guess that it was just an idea that came to a lot of certain individuals. We're going to start to try to implement this style of movement into street dancing. And I would say that started around, I say 78,
Mm,
79, or that from what Deuce told me, from what he came into it, it was around, the late 70s, 78, 79.
mm-hmm,
But before that, um, from what I was told, it was basically pretty much before the advent of pop locking and popping. It was pretty much robotics. It was
got it.
robotics. So LA was pretty much pantomime based, mime and robotics and
Mm,
and locking. So
interesting.
um stop motion animation, what I understand from what my teacher taught me, for him it came around 78, around that time.
Okay. Now
And
what is? Continue, continue.
no, go ahead, ask me some
I was
question.
gonna say because I know a lot of robot and animation, there seems to be this connection, this they're together. A lot, at least I see a lot of people that animate also have a robot background. Would you share, is there a difference? How would you describe animation and robot?
Well, I was the first person that really brought this whole information out. I would say, like, well, a resurgence of this information. I would say in 2014 when I started going on What's Popping, and what I shared to people was that robotics and animation, stop motion. See, that term animation is what's confusing the whole
Mm,
audience, because you got different forms of animation. You got CGI, which is 3D animation, which is a computer generated, CGI. You know,
mm-hmm,
that's the is to create a lifelike character. But
mm-hmm,
claymation is and stop motion is in the same two categories, because claymation just uses clay or plasticine models to create characters and objects. You know what I'm saying? So basically, it's just the way how the technology was still revolving. So they
mm-hmm.
would take these characters, and what happened was that by them drawing these characters, the character will move like, you know. So
Right.
stop motion animation is the main thing that a lot of older guys was doing. So what we're doing is stop motion, which is frame by frame movement, which is, you know, what I was taught, which is,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
Stop motion animation is what people was doing, because
mm-hmm,
it was a very dynamic movement and people liked it. You see?
mm-hmm,
So, and the difference between robotics is that everything is based upon the stop. Robotics is pretty much a longer pause between a stop. So a robot is like, I'm gonna give you a brief example. One, two,
mm,
one, two. Animation is quicker frame by frame movement. So it's a lot more stops involved. It's just
mm-hmm,
it's like, you see,
mm,
robotics and animation is different because of the stops. A robot
mm.
has long it has in between the movement, there's a longer period of the stop.
Right,
So if I do this, if I go,
right. Boom, boom.
see, I'm stopping, but I'm not stopping like as frequently. So
Right.
that's why I told people on What's Popping, I'm like, robotics and animation is two different theories. Stop
Mm-hmm.
motion animation is frame by frame. It's very, very precise micro stops. And you have to do the illusion like you're going like a like you're going
Right.
like from, it's definitely it's a lot more stops.
Mm.
But with robotics, it's you're not, it's not as many frames. It's slower. It's one,
Right.
two, three, four, five, six, seven. It's not as many stops.
Mm.
Everything that surrounds this whole entire styles is that it's more stops. The illusion of stop motion animation is to have a frame by frame movement.
Frame
So
by frame.
frame by frame, very, very quick, very precise. Frame by frame, micro stops. Say
And where was that? Who passed that knowledge to you about the frame by frames?
that one more time.
Where did you receive the information of stop motion, of moving frame by frame?
It was basically it was Deuce, and Deuce was the one. Actually, I never really said this, but Deuce, Deuce first got his, he first got his inspiration from the strobe light.
Interesting. Okay.
So he really was a fan of the strobe light. So
Mm,
Deuce told me himself his animation of his stop motion comes from the strobe light. So he
interesting.
used to study the strobe light, and he told me all the time in his living room in Long Beach, he would stare at the strobe light so much that he would get dizzy. So
Wow.
he wanted to mimic the strobe light. So when he taught me, he was saying that his first inspiration was the strobe light.
The
So
strobe.
my animation, it's a lot of it comes from the strobe light.
I see. Okay.
And
Wow.
then from there,
Mhm.
it's a mixture of different techniques from different movies. Deuce was very into Giant Robot, Johnny Sacco and Giant Robot. Deuce used to watch a lot of cartoons. He was really into science fiction. Like that's why me and him really clicked off because I'm a Star Wars fan and I love all
Mhm.
these science fiction movies. So
Mhm.
I'm telling you, like we kicked it off, we hit it off like this. So yeah, it was very eye opening to hear him, you know, tell me his theories, how he used this to, and it was just exciting.
Wow. So when you were learning stop motion, you didn't have a robot background, right?
No, my first background was actually just pop locking, which is a generalized statement of it's like saying all styles. I was pretty much just pop locking. I was pretty much just doing um, waves, tuts, a little tick, a pop. Pretty much
Mm.
that was it. So, um, you know, I was like I say, I came back into dancing in my adult years again, and that's a whole nother story right there in itself. But so when I got around Deuce, it was because of the influence of me meeting Pierre, the
Mm.
big homie from the Long Beach Time Bandits, and Deuce is the one that spearheaded that group, real world famous group from Long Beach, the Time Bandits. So
Mm.
and it was him, Darren, which is Junior Snake. These are all like the little members, the babies of the OG group, the Mysterious Poppers. So
Oh.
basically, yeah.
Mm.
So these are the guys that invented the cobras and the snakes, which is Kent Cuffy, that's King Python, uh, Cobra, Big Cobra, King Cobra, which is Daryl Johnson, Rattler, rest in peace, King Rattler, that's George, and then you had oh God, what's the other guy's name? Oh yeah, I'm tripping. Bruno.
Mm.
Bruno's
Bro.
King Snake, rest in peace. So
Wow.
basically, like I say, and that stop motion animation is basically a combination of all type of different textures, movies, cartoons, and
Mhm.
I was just a student of him. I was a student of Deuce, and
Mm.
I was just basically, you know, my background was not robotics.
Mm.
So when he was teaching me animation, he was teaching me it stop motion animation as a full entire style. So when he was teaching me in his living room, it was like I would animate from beginning to end a whole entire record.
Mm.
Stop motion animation does not require you to do waves, no strutting, no popping, no bopping. It's a whole entire style. You can do
Mm.
it from beginning. I mean, I told people this in 2014. I was like, and they couldn't believe it. You can do it. There's no robotics. You just animate from beginning to end. And
Wow. Okay.
Deuce used to train me to animate to funk records. Um, One of his favorite songs is by Amadeus, Rock Me Amadeus.
Okay.
That was a very popular. He used to always what was the other thing? Oh man, he had a lot of songs. Electricity was one of his favorite songs. I would animate to that song. Uh,
Hmm.
oh man, so many records,
What,
man.
when you say animation as a full style, is that to say that people weren't? It's interesting because I understand
When
what
I
you're saying.
mean,
People,
I know
and
what
what
you
is it?
mean.
What do you mean by yes, full
Animation
style?
as a full style is when you animate every part of your body, your head, your neck, your wrist. As a full style, you use every limb, you use every part of your body. You animate your eyes,
Mm,
you animate your tongue, all kind of
mm,
different stuff, bro. That's what he was teaching me. He was teaching me like you can animate your fingers. You know what I mean? Your fingers can animate all kind of. Again, it's a full style. When I see guys say, when I hear guys saying that that animation is mixed in with waves and all that. See, they're not true stop motion animators because
mm,
you're supposed to do this stuff without other styles. If you're a true animator, a true stop motion animator, you're supposed to stop motion from beginning to end. And
mm,
I haven't seen nobody do that yet. As of me, I'm the only one that does this. And that's what that's what I was taught to do. I don't need to hit. I said this many a time that I don't have to bop. I don't have to hit. I don't
mm,
have to strut. I don't have to wave. I'm a
mm,
true I'm a true stop motion animator. I do it from beginning to end. I don't
mm,
need to do other styles. And what's happening now is that there's dancers, their bass is could be boogaloo. Their bass can be waves. Their bass can be tuts. So what they
right.
do now, since animation is such a when I say animation, I mean stop motion animation.
Mm.
Now it's such a hot topic that now all these guys now want to incorporate it into
Right,
their
their
bass
base.
styles.
Right, right.
So what's happening now is that they're adding it into their styles. See, they
Hmm.
never ever was taught this stuff. Their first basis is either electric boogaloo, it could be waves, it can be ticking, it can be
Right,
strutting, it can be all type of styles, but it can be robotics.
right, right.
You see, and that's where the problem lies. The problem lies is that there needs to be a fine line drawn on what is what.
Mm,
Robotics and animation is a very it's two different styles, two different movements.
right, right. And that's what I find interesting because a lot of when I think of animators currently, they typically have, a robot name or a robot background, or they're able to do both robot and animation categories. But with yourself, you are saying my base is animation. You're not putting
Yeah,
animation
yeah.
on your animation.
I got taught animation first. When I basically reconfigure my style, Deuce was like, you're gonna pretty much reconfigure your style. You're gonna be reconfigured. So
Mm,
it was pretty much like he wanted me to become what he said a Bopatron, which was the creation. It was a group that Deuce was a part of, or he was around Dre at that time in Robot Prince, which is Robot Rob. So
mm,
he was actually they were all like family. They were all like family. Deuce became really known with Robot Prince, Bop
mhm,
and Ronnie, all these guys, Tick and Larry from Carson. They all knew each other. So
mhm,
Deuce started to just be around these guys, and Deuce became so great at what he was doing. He's one of the baddest to ever do it, one of the baddest dudes to ever do it.
mm,
Yeah, hands down, he was one of a kind. And so um, man, it's crazy because I wish he was here to talk about his history, but I have
right.
to pretty much you know speak in his you have, you
Right.
know.
When did you say you mastered, or when did you feel you mastered the stop motion animation? What year was that?
Mm, I would say I started learning from Deuce 2009, the last part of 2009. And I would say I started to get the hang of it around 2000 and, well, I would say I started to get the concept of it in 2013, but it was still rough. But when I came out, it was pretty shocking because, everybody was like, damn, Gizmo's kind of leveled up, because again, remember, as a lot of youths in the LA County, a lot of youths just stopped doing it. And I'm one of the ones that stopped. It became very mundane and it became out of style. So when I came back, I was just like a kid. I wanted to learn. And so when I
Mm,
got taught this from Deuce, I was just like, repetitive. I was always at his house practicing hours at a time. You know,
mm,
he'll be like certain exercises, and I'll be in the room and it was heavy. It was a lot of hard work. So I would
mm.
say I got the hang of it around 2000, I would say 2006, 16. And again,
2006. Okay.
I can't say that I'm an OG. I always tell people all the time, like, I'm not an OG. Like, I was around in the 80s, but I got handed down this style because I'm the first student, actually a deuce, like that actually got taught really, like, a lot of guys were around Deuce, like Pop and Taco. Like Deuce taught Taco. Well,
Mm,
he didn't teach Taco. He influenced him. They were in groups together. They were in a group with Mark Benson. It was him, um, Taco. It was Deuce, Taco, and Mark Benson. It was called the Sterling Silver Dancers. When Deuce
mm.
came to Long Beach, he really he really man he yeah.
Wow.
Deuce is the reason why a lot of guys got good with that style
Wow.
because he came to Long Beach in 1981, bottom of 81, top of 82, and he just really just brought that style and of stop motion animation and all that stuff, and just really,
So,
yeah.
so Gizmo, would you say you are the only one currently that has the style that Deuce shared? That's the only. Are you the only one that?
Well, again, you got to remember, um, I would say that for the record, a lot of guys are robot based that are OGs. Like when I mean OGs, I mean older dancers, Um, their base is robotics.
Mm-hmm.
Their base is robotics. And they implement stop motion into their robot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing with me is that Deuce was showing me, no, you're gonna do stop motion animation as a full style. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, and at that time, I was like, man, I can't do it. It's too complex. He was like, you'll get it. So
Mm.
he was showing me, no, you're going to animate the whole entire time. You're not going to do nothing else except animate. Stop
Wow.
motion animation. No robotics, none of that. None of that, bro. That's what he was showing me. So when I
Wow.
came out, it was kind of like even Dre would be like, you animate too much. Dre was like, you know, he knows like I animate too. He always like, you animate too much. And this is what a hurdle says it all the time. You animate too. Dre
Mm.
is a dancer. When Dre, you know, being around Dre is, you know, he wanted me to learn from him, but I already had my teachers, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I already got taught by Deuce, and Hurdle was showing me Tron, his style of
Mm.
Tron. So
Okay.
by the time, when he proposed that this is 2016, and I'm like, nah, because his style is his style, and my style was my style. So our his style does not match with what I'm doing. He's more of a robotic bopper hitter,
Right.
and I'm pretty much more on the in lines of a stop motion animation, and like, you know, he's more of a dancer. I don't know how to describe it. It's just
Right.
our styles is two different things, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would say from my perspective, when I see Andre and yourself, you both are doing two different styles of like animation. Like again, the base. Like to me, Andre has the robot because he was a robot. That's what he says. Robot was his
Yeah, it's a
style that he
robot.
started, and he's putting on the animation on top of it, while you're saying I'm just 100% animating
Well,
or stop motion.
when I first met Hurdle, after Deuce passed in 2014. So my teachings were limited because I didn't have no robotic base. Now, Deuce was going to show me, you know, he was always talking about Tron.
Mm,
Bapatron was considered to him a style. You see, Deuce, Deuce took, because Dre, you know what I'm saying, came up with that name, which is correct.
mm.
Deuce made it into a style.
Oh,
Deuce took it.
Bapatan. Okay.
Bapatron for him was was a style to him because he loved that name, and he always had love for Bop and Andre. And
Okay.
so Deuce carried that name, and but he Deuce was referring that to a style. So
Mm,
Deuce took that name and turned it into a style that into like his own style.
mm.
So Bapatron for him was not a name of a dance group. It was considered his style. But he had so much love for Bob and Andre in his humble beginnings that he always kept that love for what
The
he was taught, you know, because he was loyal to he loved Bob and Andre, homie. You know, they were like play brothers, you know. But at that time, Deuce was involved in the gang scene heavy, and he was involved with the dance scene. So Deuce had two conflicting lifestyles that were separate. One minute he was gang banging, and one minute he was this super duper creative,
mm,
dope artist, a dancer. He was one of a kind.
mm.
He was seriously mechanical, serious animated.
Wow.
He was the dude was look, man. When I mean the dude scared the shit out of me, he had a move called the cradle,
Okay.
where he would I remember it like yesterday. He said, Gizmo. I'm at his house, and he said, I got a move I want to show you.
Mm.
And he was in his bed. And let me just put my phone down. Let me show you what he
Yeah.
did. So basically, he said, I'm gonna show you this move, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, he laid down like this, and then he was like,
Yeah.
Gizmo Magnetic. I
Ew.
mean, he was like, Gizmo Magnetic. I am your master. Bro, when I mean to tell you,
What the?
that shit, it scared me because he got the move from Total Recall. The Total
Oh.
Recall movie, when the guy came out of the dude's belly,
Oh. Okay.
that's where Deuce got that move from. He called it the
Wow.
cradle. So when the dude popped out, watch the movie with Total Recall with Arnold,
Oh,
and Deuce took that move and he called it the cradle. So
wow.
he was like, man, he was like, Gizmo Magnetic. Man,
Ew. Like,
man, I
wow.
can't even, bro. I do it all the time. I do it all the time
Right.
when I'm at Homeland or youth. I do it, and people be like, but Deuce, look, man,
Wow.
that dude was that
Wow.
dude was crazy, man. He used to scare me because I'm like, because he was so like, man, his eyeballs just, man, I can't even describe it, bro. The dude was,
Wow.
he was,
Okay.
he was like, Gizmo Magnetic, and he was just, man,
Wow.
he was,
Wow.
it was some cold shit. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, man, Deuce was out of this world, man.
Wow.
Deuce did shit to where I was like, I was mad at him because he showed me a style of waving. See, he had a style of waving called cosmetics.
Hmm.
Now, Dre said that he taught him waves or a trace wave, but from what I got taught from Deuce, Deuce learned how to wave from a guy from Inglewood named Doc Wave. And
Hmm.
they had a call out on Hollywood and Vine.
Hmm.
This was like 83 or something like this. So Deuce was like, Deuce was animating and stuff, and but this dude had like some animated waves, some stop motion
Hmm.
waves. And
Hmm.
Deuce said it really blew his mind. So
Wow.
him and him became close. The dude name was Doc Wave. And
Okay.
Deuce pretty much learned his waving from him. Well,
Interesting.
he was already a waver, but Deuce took it to a whole nother level and he called
Hmm.
it cosmetics. It's a
Interesting.
combination of his style of waving, which is Doc Wave, Deuce's style when what he was learning, because he was a trace waver. He was always trace waving, but he didn't have no, you know what I mean? But he added on that animation, bro. I'm telling you,
Wow.
he showed it to me. It was called cosmetics.
Wow.
So basically, it was a combination of Doc Wade, the guy from Inglewood. He had a guest cancer. So Deuce and him was studying a lot and he passed on, I guess, in 87 or something like this. And
Hmm.
then the other part of it comes from Cosmo, rest in peace. Dr. Cosmo, rest in peace. He
Hmm.
had Cosmo waves. And
Hmm.
when Deuce battled him on Hollywood Boulevard, Deuce took some of his waves and he told Cosmo like later on down the line that he took some of his waves and basically transformed them into what's known as cosmetics. It's an
Wow.
animated style of waving, and I begged Deuce to show me that style, and he was like, "If I show you this," he showed it to me, but he was like, "I can't show it to you." I literally begged him because those waves that he showed me, if Daryl Stokes was to see those waves, Daryl Stokes would have been shocked.
Wow. That's a big statement to say that.
Bro, Deuce told me, he said, man, I never showed this style of waving really like this. And I literally begged him, bro, like for years. I was
Can
like,
you?
I
Can
begged
you?
him, look, bro, I'm telling you, that waving style, if he was to show me, the only thing that he showed me was this part right here. The
Hmm.
only thing that he showed me was this part. I do it all the time. He would be like,
Oh,
but it would be like, it would be real trippy and eerie. Like, he'll be like, he called this pausing.
Hmm. Oh. Oh.
That's
Okay.
called pause. See, this is called pausing. When you go,
Right.
see, come on, man. I
Interesting.
know what I'm doing. I got taught some real good shit. So
Wow.
he called it pausing.
Interesting. Okay.
Now,
Wow.
now, Dre calls it a bounce stop. Like, again,
Right. Right. Right.
see, but Deuce called it pausing. See, you got to remember, Deuce took things and made them more like his own style. So Deuce, like I say, man, you know, Dre and Deuce but Deuce was always his own person. He invented his own styles. Like, so Deuce became on his own, like back in the late 70s, so Deuce
Wow.
just started just doing his own shit, started doing his own concepts, and he got his basis of his animation from the strobe light.
Hmm. Right.
So
Wow.
when I'm doing this,
Yeah.
that's all strobing, bro. It's like strobe light. The strobe light is fast by frame movement. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And
Okay.
again, bro,
That's fair.
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's but I do it all the time. But the main thing that I always tell people is that whatever you learn, that's going to be your base style. And it's going to be hard for you to get out of that because what I see now is that there is a lot of guys, their base is robotics. So
Mm.
it's very hard to blend in stop motion animation with robotics. You have to learn how to go from different textures and different speeds. So
Mm.
when I got introduced to the style of Tron through Hurdle, because Deuce was going to show me his style of robotics, but he never had a chance to because he
Mm.
passed. So
Mm.
when I was left only with an animated stop motion base, so I was animating all over the place. You
Okay.
see?
Stop motion. Boom, boom. Stop motion. Everything. Okay.
Everything, bro. No
Okay.
robotics, no waves. So
Right.
I'm the true definition of a true animator. Again, stop motion animation.
Okay.
Again, robotics is slow. It's a slower in between of the dime. If I go one,
Mm.
two, three, four, five, six, see, it's a longer pause in
Right.
between those stops. I'm doing
Right. Right.
stop,
Moving.
stop, see? Animation is, see?
Mm.
That's what I introduced to the world is that. So when I look at
Yes.
people doing robotics, I'm like, well, you're a robot trying to do stop motion animation. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? So
Mhm.
again, that's what it is. When we
Mhm.
say animation, we're referring to stop motion animation, which is the same as claymation. Claymation is just using when these film directors would use these create these characters, they would use clay to mold and they would do it from frame by frame.
Mhm.
So it's stop motion animation. You're going from frame by frame movement. You
Okay.
see? So
Right.
again, there is people that do stop motion, but they don't know how to correctly do it as a full style. So that's
Okay.
why that's why I said how you going to have a animation battle and you guys are not even doing it from beginning to end. It's more or less like you're adding it into your styles. You already have a style basis of boogaloo. You do waves. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So for
Right.
me personally, it's they done came on. It's a late train. The only thing that makes
Mhm.
it, I'm a late train too, but the only thing is that do strip me entirely down bare bare metal. So
Mm.
I had to basically learn how to animate stop motion animation. Believe me, when Deuce would play a song, I would have to animate that whole entire record. If,
Mm.
if he threw on not just knee deep, I would have to animate the whole entire record.
Mm.
No, no bopping, no nothing.
Right. Right.
He would be like, nope. Now you, he'll be like, start over.
In.
Start over.
Nah.
You fucked that
Nah.
up. Start
Wow.
over. You fucked that up. Start over. You fucked that up. And I'm like, damn. And
Right.
again, most guys when they come out, they're doing robotics. They're doing robotics.
Right.
Robotics and animation is two different levels of movement. You can't,
Mm.
I don't know why, but again, I understand it's because they're they're not being taught the whole entire style. They're only
Mhm.
being see they already have a dance, they already have a particular style that they already been doing for so many years. It's
Right.
the same with Bruno. When
Mm.
Bruno Taco recipes first seen Deuce, you know, he was like elated by what Deuce was doing. And Deuce showed him some stuff, but Deuce just gave Taco certain things to put into his repertoire, you know, like add that one to your popping, you
Mhm.
know? But
Mhm.
again, he influenced Boogaloo Shrimp. I mean, bro, he taught all these guys. When I mean taught, they were around him and they picked it up naturally because
Mm.
they were like homies. They were like this.
Wow.
See, so um, it's pretty much like I say. It's that's where I try to describe to people like You're a robot trying. Dre, what I say, what Dre's done, Dre is an excellent. Dre has a good balance between robotics and certain forms of animation and pantomime. Because
Mm.
again, these are the three styles that are pretty prevalent in Los Angeles County,
Hmm.
the east side per se. Long
Right.
Beach is more or less based upon hopping and boogaloo and waves and So
Hmm.
when Deuce came to Long Beach in 1981, he's the first person to bring that style to
Oh
that
wow.
area. It was
Okay.
Deuce. It was Deuce. He's the one that brought that style into the South Bay area, which was Long Beach, Harbor City,
Mm.
um, Carson,
Mm.
everything all down there, man. Lomita,
Wow.
Harbor City, all those places, man. And Deuce was known. He was. I'm telling you, bro. He was an
Wow.
animated. He was a stop motion animated machine. He was the first one that I seen to use sound effects.
Wow.
Sound
Mm.
effects, and Boogaloo Shrimp picked up those sound effects in the movie. Like, pew! That was all Deuce. Deuce would throw a move and be like, he would throw. He would do sound effects.
Wow.
He would throw a move at you and add sound effects to the move, like.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
Deuce. So when you see Shrimp do that, it's because of him being around Deuce. Because
Wow.
that was what Deuce was doing. Deuce was adding sound effects to his moves and you know, yeah, all type of effects. Like yeah, man, he was a real funny guy. He was serious, but he was a real playful, creative
Wow.
dude.
Like a kid, like a big kid, like a
He
kid,
said,
like
"What are
play.
the different ways to create a stop motion illusion and animation dance?" See, that term animation dance. See, I don't know what you guys mean. See, that's why I say it's a lot of things because animation dance, there's no, again, animation dance is when you do stop motion. Again, there's different forms of animation. You got 3D animation. You got so much animation, but it's all basically revolving around computer generated imagery, which
Right.
is considered more lifelike. I'm talking about from the days of when it was less technology available to human beings. The first things that actually came up was before robotics, it was called automaton. You know,
Mm.
automaton is spelled Automaton.
Mm.
That was the first. It was like puppets that was doing mechanical movement. Like if you wind them, ding ding
Right.
ding 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 ding.
Right.
That was what was that's been around since the 1700s. So
Mm.
robotics came around like what in the early 1900s.
Right. I
So
bet so.
robotics has always been, but stop motion animation has always been around since the beginning of movies, since the 1900s, like the
Right.
20s, the 30s, because it's it was considered a very I would say still evolving uh
Right.
TV technology. So, but
Right.
what it is that it looks dope to us because it's a very jiggity movement. It looks
Right.
the whole basis of OG street dancing in the hood is to look unreal as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, to me, I'm an African American male. I'm just telling you from the hood perspective. Most of the guys that wanted to do this dance, they wanted to look unreal. They wanted
Mm.
to look like, damn, what
Right.
the fuck is this dude doing? So
Right.
that's how you was pretty much able to get your name out there because you were doing something that nobody else would do. So
Mm-hmm.
again, remember, um, you know, pantomiming does not come from the hood. It comes from European culture,
Right. The
telling a
mind. Yep.
story. So
Mm-hmm.
what we did was that we took certain parts of things and we added it on to I would say the hood culture, which is the funk music,
Mm-hmm.
the jazz records, and then later on down the line, you had disco, you had rap music. You had the new wave came in like in the mid '80s. So all these things was done because it was they took these techniques and just added it on to music. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
they made it a
Right.
little bit more cooler and hipper. So uh, again, we don't control. We don't. I don't say that we invented mime. Mime has been around forever. You know, with Marceau, and all these guys. So
Right.
for sure, I can't take credit for saying that we invented stop motion animation. It's
Mm.
just something that we picked up from the movies. The guys, again, we love Clash of the Titans. We love all these movies because they look weird and eerie. So
Right.
what the OGs did was just take certain things and add them into a style and made it more like hipper, more that made it more cooler to look at. You know.
Mm. Here's a
So
question. Yeah,
yeah,
go continue. Continue.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think when Colin was asking about different ways to create a stop motion illusion in animation, I think if I'm gonna clarify, Colin, what you may also be asking is, um, I have this. I've been told that stop motion animation is pretty much vibrating moving forward. Is there more to animation than just vibrating moving forward?
Well, you can basically do it all in different formats. You can move, you have to understand you can move your limb and you can animate in a circle, you can animate and you have to practice with it. Once you get the technique down, you're supposed to be able to animate in all different directions without the use of any other style. See,
Hmm.
most of the guys now that's doing this, they're doing animation and stop motion animation and adding it on to other styles. You
Right.
see,
Okay.
they're
Hmm.
adding it on to waves, to boogaloo, to ticking. And some people say that ticking is animation, but that's a whole nother story. But again, most of the generalized students are adding on stop motion now to other styles to make
Mm.
those styles look doper. You see,
Right.
it's like
Right.
adding a spice to it. It's like adding a spice to their waves. Like they're waving, but now they're adding on stop motion to their wave because it makes their wave look way more doper and way more like wow. It gives it that wow effect. But animation is to be done in different angles, different stops, different poses, all
Mm.
kind of different shit. But you have to get taught this stuff because again, if your basis is a robotic guy, or if you're doing waves, if you're doing touch, you're trying to implement that stop motion in between, and you don't know how to really move it. You see,
Mm.
that's where the problem lies because most of the times a person's basis is already been they already been doing this movement for so long. Like if you've been doing waves for 10 years, it's
Mm.
going to be hard for you to try to implement this style. So you have to learn how to you
Right.
know, make it merge. So
Mm.
that's why I'm saying a lot of the problems come with a lot of the new dancers or even the old dancers. They don't know how to really implement this stuff. So they're pretty much, well, how do I move it? How do I do it? Like I say, if 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 I can just do it, I can go from here, stop. You know what I mean? I can just
Mm.
I can just keep doing this. I can stop. All kind of different. I can do it in different ways, bro.
Right.
Uh, and it's just because that's how I got taught. I got
Interesting.
again. Remember, I'm not waving. I'm not.
You're
I'm
not
not
roboting. You're not robot. You're
none,
not
bro.
making a.
None at all. So when I see these guys come out and they're all like, "I am a robot. I am going to animate," I'm like, bro, you're supposed to show a difference between this style to this style. But yeah,
Mm. Can you go into? I've heard of the term 3D being used. Can you explain what that means? 3D or
3D is
4D?
just pretty much like 3D for us. It's just like we call it a move within a move.
Hmm.
It's a
Hmm.
move within a move.
Hmm.
You see,
Okay.
and
Hmm.
that's a whole other topic because I gotta have Hurdle talk
Okay.
about that one. That's a move within a move.
Okay.
Three
Interesting.
3D. and
Okay.
nobody's even talking about 3D because they don't they don't even know what 3D. Again, nobody even talks about 3D. And
Okay. Okay. Another question we
if
have.
you were judging an animation dance battle, what? Yeah, if I was judging a battle, I'm looking to see if you can animate, if you can do stop motion animation. I want to
Mm,
see, can you do it to a certain level of consistency? I don't want to see you just do waves. I want to see you animate. I want to see you do stop. Animation is stop motion animation. I'm going to say
mm,
this again. Animation is stop motion animation. You go from frame by frame.
mm,
It can be called claymation, but it's all the same. It's frame by frame, frame by frame, frame by frame. If you're not doing that, I don't consider you an animator.
interesting. Now I
None
know.
at all. I don't care if you're doing it a little bit, that's good. I want to see you do it consistently to a certain degree. Like if
Mm,
you go into a wave contest, they want to see how you wave. How do you move your waves? How do you transition? What is your creativity with it? They're looking
mm,
to see how you're doing it. You see? So I'm
mm.
look, man. Again, if I'm judging a battle, a dance, I would say I hate that battle word. If I see you guys
A
having
contest, maybe.
challenging each other's skill set, I
Mm-hmm.
want to see which one is more consistent with its animation. Stop
Mm,
motion. That's the key to it. Not
mm,
to see, oh, I'm a robot and now I'm gonna go to the ground and shake my leg and
right.
no, no, no. I'm looking to
Interesting.
see, I'm looking to see how well is your stop motion animation, player. I
Mm.
don't care
So,
about your robotics. I want to see you do stop motion animation.
so something I find interesting is that because no one really was sharing this information of strictly stop motion,
Yeah,
it turned into robot and
yeah,
stop motion on top. That became kind of what was shared and taught. And now we have something called NPC, which is
yeah.
people are acting like video game characters
Mm.
because a video game is a it's an animated character, but it's interesting because it's like we've gone away from the stop
No, no,
motion.
no. But that, you know what though? I think that's dope what y'all doing because
Okay.
that's something that you guys have actually created, dog. That's something that
Mhm.
I've never seen before. Like so,
Interesting. Okay.
I have never seen a person
The
do
video
that
game
if he
character.
like imitate a character.
Yeah.
Like again, I can see somebody imitating Bugs Bunny, but you guys are imitating, a
A
actual
video
video
game.
game. Like
Yeah.
I am. But again, that's on the lines of it's more like robotic. Like how are you
Yeah.
doing? It's more like I am going to take you to your master. Can I please give you some help? You see, it's more like you're trying to, it's still on the lines of roboticism,
Hmm.
and
Right.
again, or and stop motion and ticking are two different things, correct? Again, yeah, because look, man, ticking, it's all about the speed changes. Speed changes is what makes your robot more efficient. So
Hmm.
ticking is considered a faster movement because you're going from fast, 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 now faster. See? So ticking is pretty much a quicker stop. It is. But like I say, true stop motion animation is like shit, non-stop. You feel me?
Hmm.
So
Okay.
again, um, you know, everybody has to pretty much, you know, if again, I would say for the most part, you know, everybody's trying to, I guess, bring out something that's already been out forever. Again, stop motion animation is what it is. It's just I
Hmm.
don't see what else can be done. What else can be done? I don't know how you're going to recreate the real when it's already been created. It's the CGI is more lifelike. Like again, stop motion animation looks unreal for a human being to move like that. You see? So
Hmm.
uh, again, ticking is a faster. It's a faster. It's a faster stop. But
Hmm.
but stop motion animation is man. It's quick, quick micro stops.
What
Uh,
we have a I know OG Winston asks that let the young bucks know what Tron
Tron
is.
Tron it's a advanced robotic style. I'd put it like that. Tron has nothing to do with animation. Tron is a advanced robotic movement that I learned from Hurdle. It has nothing to do with stop motion animation. Tron is a robotic style and form. It comes from the LA robot.
Okay.
So when I mean Tron is actually my main style now because um well, I would say, yeah, I would say because I animate, but I do a lot of Tron now. So Tron it's a advanced LA robotic style mixed in with my stop motion animation. So
Wow.
Tron is the OG LA robot, and it's more advanced. And then my stop motion animation is what I'm doing behind it.
Okay. Would you say that's similar? It's not similar, but okay, like bopping is Andre's style of robot and
Yeah, that's his.
animation, all of
That's
that.
his. Yeah,
Right.
that's his
That's
style.
so
Yeah,
Tron is your
Tron is not what I invented. Hurdle invented Tron.
okay.
Now Hurdle is the inventor of Tron. So when Hurdle taught me Tron, he was like, "You don't have no robotic base, so you're all animation, stop motion animation." I'm like, "Yeah, this is what Deuce taught me." So he was like, "You know what? Deuce was gonna show you some other shit." I'm like, "Yeah, but Deuce passed." So
Right.
Deuce was just showing me, you know, um, he was just showing me that full blown animation,
Mm.
and then Tron came later.
Wow. So you're combining two. You're both of them.
Yeah, two different styles. And Deuce said, I think strobing and ticking are the same. Well, and again, strobing again. Remember, I just told you, Deuce got his animation from the strobe light.
Mm.
Strobing is anything that's quicker in succession. I would say strobing, ticking, and stop motion animation are very close to each other. But it's just the speed.
Mm.
It's just about how you go from different speed changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the speed changes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you look at Dre or Mad Chad's robot, what makes their robot efficient is that they have speed changes.
Uh-huh.
So Dre can be like,
Right, right. That fast forward glitchy. Yeah.
come on, man. It's the speed. It's the
Mm-hmm.
speed changes. So if I go, see,
Right.
I'm doing it's the speed, bro.
Right.
It's everything with this shit is just speed changes. But
Mm.
again, full animation, stop motion animation. I'm gonna say this again. It's frame by frame with no pause. Just you know what I mean? And you just
Mm.
letting them have it.
Wow. Okay.
It's not no verses. It's not you can't verse. See, you gotta realize that okay, if you look at a certain vegetable like a root vegetable, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as a carrot, a root. They're all in the same family. Strobing, there is no stop motion versus strobing versus ticking.
Mm.
They're all like around the same. The only thing that makes stop motion is the granddaddy of all those styles. You got to remember, stop motion is full, full by frame movement with no stops. It's just full. It's, it's like a machine gun.
Mm. Right, 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 right.
That's stop motion.
Wow.
Ticking's more like a clock, like tick, 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 tick. See? It's all
Yeah.
about the speed changes, homie. You see?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Strobing is the same thing, like ding, 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 ding. But
Right.
stop motion is like
Yeah.
like
Right. And
a
which is
bullet.
and
See?
it makes sense why it's not seen as much as a full style because of the amount of the practice it takes to be able to do that for a whole song.
Yeah, man. And then again, remember, bro, a lot of these dancers, they're they're getting taught certain things and they're not being taught. They already got taught a base style. If
Hmm.
your basis is robot, then that's your style. You're a robot. You're a robot that incorporates some stop motion into your shit.
Mm-hmm.
But to be a true stop motion animator, that has to be your base style. My base style is stop motion animation.
Stop motion.
Facts. I do this shit so much that
Right.
Hurdle had to tell me, like, bro, you animate too much. Even
Mm.
Dre be like, you got too much high level. You need to dance more, Gizmo. Even
Interesting.
Tapo, all those guys would tell me they incorporate stop motion animation into they dance.
Yes.
See, I wasn't taught that. I'm taught the OG shit, which is the full.
Full thing. You're full. You are you just become it. You
I
are the
just
stop
empty a
motion.
whole clip. Deuce told
Wow.
me it's like a machine gun. I put the bullets in the clip and I just start spraying
Wow. Damn.
like I'm doing a drive by.
Right.
That's how
Right.
Deuce taught me. He said you're gonna be like doing a drive by. Because
Damn.
remember, Deuce is a gangster, and I'm
Yes.
kind of a gangster. I'm trying to tell you,
Yes.
we looking at things from a gangster perspective. Like if we
Mm.
do our shit, we doing a drive by. We're letting the bullets out, but like in a dance sense, like we're animating like.
Right.
See, it's more.
Wow.
That's how we.
The
That's the
mentality. Right. Right.
yeah, bro. Stop
Mentality of
motion for us is like we're letting the whole clip go.
Can
We're
can you go can you go into when you now were mastering the style, I know you shared how you were battling, you were going and you were making a name for yourself. Do you
well, I wouldn't say I was battling because I don't really encourage battling. It's just that my style became so uh like after the years and years, dudes is like, damn, Gizmo, I, I got I got sanctioned by Big Deuce in the
Mm,
Time Bandits. So what happened was that you know, I just started just putting my rounds in,
mm,
going out there and calling out people and stuff, showing them that I'm here.
mm.
Prince, Dre, Scorpio,
Wow, everybody,
Bopping Crew. I
wow.
called out Granite because that's just what I do. That's what
Right,
I was trained to do, just to show skill versus skill. That's
right.
what Deuce showed me. He said, once I teach you, you're gonna have to go out there and call people out, test their skill level. We didn't
Mm,
call it battling. We called it testing your skill.
mm,
We
mm,
called it checking your nuts.
mm.
We gonna be like, we gonna check your nuts, homie. That's what we did it. Because remember, we're street dudes, so
Right.
we have the street mentality like, we gonna check your nuts, homie. We gonna see what you all about. Not no fighting, but skill
Right.
versus skill. And again, that's how I'm just trying to read the things, but strobing requires a dragging motion within. See, I don't want to make it too. See, that's
Right.
too.
Technical and
Yeah, we
everything.
don't want to do that. Look at the strobe light and study the strobe light. You
Mm,
know, how do you keep up that effect for long periods? Is it pure? Yeah, it takes it like everything. It takes practice.
mm.
It takes practice to do this stuff. And again, it takes practice because you have to pretty much um you pretty much have to man, you have to pretty much practice it. That's all I can
Just
say,
just
man.
try to figure it
And
out, right?
again, I
You
just
get it.
start teaching, hey, when you when you when you say this live, tag me on the video so it can go to my page also. All right?
Oh, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
because I want people to see this because he said Grits from Animation Week. I don't know who that is.
Oh, that's another person just jumping in the
Oh, okay.
from Paris. He's from I met him from
Okay.
Paris. Paris had an animation event. They're actually having it right now. So
Yeah,
this is
yeah, I know. Um,
hmm
you got to remember, man. I had, like Midnight said, a lot of the times, bro. I yeah, I have influenced a lot of people, bro. A lot
hmm
of people indirectly have been influenced by me. They don't want to say it, but
right.
they know what time it is.
What
A
if
lot of people have been influenced by me. Just yeah, a lot
what
of guys, man. Yeah.
would you like if you're get because all these animation events that are going on now, it's getting more popular. Do you want to be like at the forefront of? Do you want to have a platform for people to? What do you feel about the style? I mean, I know you're
Well,
sharing how
you know what? I do. I give credit where credit's due. I believe that Yaya throws a dope event,
hmm
and that's her event that you animate. I think she's doing a good thing. You know, I mean, it's definitely showing another world of of the style. So I'm all for it. Now, if they want to add me on to their platform, I'm cool. If they don't, I'm cool with that. Also, again, remember, I work. I don't really. I mean, I'm not really trying to become like this
right.
hell of a dancer. I have other things that I do. I build lowriders and stuff, but again,
hmm
I'm good at this stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I told her all the time, like we should definitely teach, and I have taught stuff to people. I taught people a lot of stuff, and
Right.
a lot of people were influenced by me greatly. Were influenced by me, like yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. But again, um, my only thing is that I'm like a purist. You know, I'll tell the truth. I'll be like, listen, honestly, a lot of this stuff is robotics.
hmm
Robotics sprinkled with a little stop motion animation. I'm gonna just keep it a buck,
hmm
you know,
hmm
and it's more about incorporating this style of dancing to other styles of dancing. That's what
hmm
these kids want to do. They want to add it to their dance. See, the thing with the new generation is that it's like they want to add all these different things and make them blend in. So that's what they mean by limitation and no limits. What the young kids want to do is that they want to be free to explore all these styles and try to mix them all together. You see, but my thing is like, let's not get away from the main technique. If you're gonna have an animation battle, the main part of it is for sure has to be stop motion. There's
hmm
no way around it. Like it's
hmm
different if you're saying an all style battle,
Right. Right.
then that's different because you're adding in all these different textures and things of that nature. But if you're talking about um animation, it's stop motion, homie, by the
hmm
shadow of a doubt, you're supposed to be showing animation. Pardon me, for
hmm
sure. That's the
hmm
main meat and potatoes is stop motion animation for sure. I don't want to see you wave and you animate a little bit and then you go back to your waves. Nah,
Right.
nah,
Right.
no, because
Or it's like slow motion only.
slow. Yeah, no, and again, that's all good, but that's not stop
Mm,
motion animation. Like
right.
again, we know that animation, we know what animate means. Animate means to come to life. We
hmm
know that.
hmm
But we're talking about stop motion animation. We're talking about this is the foundation of street dance. It's been
hmm
around since the 70s. You see? That
hmm
was a cornerstone and a pillar in the street styles of dance. It's stop motion animation for
mm
sure.
Sure. Hmm
And again, uh, you can't. How long can you vibrate? Can you vibrate a whole entire record? Have you seen one person vibrate a whole entire record?
I have
See,
not. No,
see
that's
now again, people be like, "Oh, vibrations animation." Well, do it. Do it to a whole
The
entire
whole.
record and then get back to me. It's never been done before. It's
Mm,
very hard to do stop motion animation too because it takes a lot of energy and a lot of patience to do it.
right,
You see? So again, all these see he's saying right here, this pen, he's saying, are you specifically referring to dynamation or any type of it's all these things, dynamation, claymation, it's the same thing. It's stop motion. The whole entire technique is stop motion, the frame by frame where you look like you're ding 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 ding, stop motion. You're stop, 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 stop. So don't look at these labels. The labels of these things like stop motion, claymation, it's because they was using all these things comes from the film industry.
right,
An animator is a person that drawing this stuff and they're putting it on pictures and they're filming it like as a book, like one, two, three, you know what I mean? So
right,
these characters move very unreal, like one, two, three, four, five, you know what I mean? So
right,
it's a very choppy but but precision type movement. So again, animation is this is this is robotics.
right. The,
See?
the,
This
yeah.
is robotics.
Hmm.
See?
Ding.
Animation is this. Stop motion. See?
Damn,
Yeah.
right. There's
See,
no.
this film looks the phone looks all messed up, but
Right, right, but still,
you get the idea of
right,
it. And I do it all
right,
the time in person.
right.
So
Oh
they
no,
know
of
it.
course,
So I
of
just do
course.
it. I just you know what I mean?
Boom, boom, boom.
See? It's
Right,
different from robotics, man.
right. Yeah, no, this is, huh. It's so interesting, Gizmo, because they're really I don't see anyone that does it like you. And to say it's just interesting if you're the only one doing this
No,
pure.
look, man. Again, look at Robot Prince.
Hmm.
Robot Prince basis is he's a robot.
Robot, right?
Again, homie, I want to be on here too long. I gotta get to, to work, but
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah, no,
telling
of
you right
course, of
now,
course.
look at Robot Prince.
Hmm.
His basis is he's a robot. He
Hmm.
does very dope, clean, robotic type movements. And he adds on pantomime and some stop motion animation to his robot.
Hmm. Hmm.
Same as Bob and Andre.
Hmm.
Me, on the other hand, I can animate just without stops. I've done it all the time. I'm not
Hmm.
going to sit there and go and do a bop and,
Right.
you know what I mean? I don't got to do that. And I told people all the time, like, I don't have to do a bop. I don't have to do a wave. I
Hmm.
don't have to do no touch. I don't have to do no boogaloo. This is what I mean stop motion as a full entire style. Just stop motion animation. Well, how do you do it? Well, I can teach you this shit. You know what I mean? Because I
Hmm.
do it. And
Right.
again, it can be done without hitting. I said, you don't have to hit. You don't have to do none of this shit. You
Right.
can do it as a full style. You just have to learn how to do it. But
Right.
most people don't know how to do it. So to me, they want to cheat. They want to, oh, we can do it a little bit. No, okay. But your style is that you're a waiver.
Right.
That's dope that you can add it to your style. That's dope, homie. Now let
Right.
me see you do it as a full entire style.
Right. Right. I,
Again, bro, most dudes is gonna robot, do slow motion, they'll do some waves, they might float, they gonna float, stop, boogaloo, go to do some ground moves.
right.
Is that animation to you?
No, it's in. I want to make a
It's
par.
yeah, go ahead.
I want to just make a parallel because it reminds me of the conversation of finger tutting that there were people in that would pop right and they would do a finger tut, right? And they go back to the
Yeah,
popping. But then there's people that are finger tutters. That's all they do, the whole thing. And it sounds similar. What you're saying, there's animation. You just
yeah.
do an animation, and then people that are, they take a little bit, put on top.
And
My
that,
last, yeah, yeah.
and that's dope, homie. I'm not taking
Right,
away
right,
anything from that, but like I say, homie, I I called out frantic, not because I'm mad at the dude. It's just that's how Deuce and me and Deuce roll. We street dudes. We kind of like we're all about testing your skill. You know, that's how Deuce trained me. Deuce used to always battle me. And
mm,
when I mean battle, I don't mean like like in a sense of a movie. Like we're checking your skill. Like okay, you're dope. You got some. Oh, that was dope. That was dope. Again, it's all about checking your skills. It's
right,
not
right,
about
right,
who's the
time,
best to me. It's about because you might do some shit and I'll be like, damn, that was tight. You know what I
mm,
mean?
right,
Because again, it's skill versus skill. I'm not looking at shit from a personal discrepancy. I'm looking at shit like a G, like, yeah, homie, you got some tight stuff. And
right,
that was tight. You got me on that shit. Now I'm gonna come with this. You see what I'm saying? So
right, right,
again, that's how it used to be. It was all about like, yeah, homie, you got some tight shit. You know,
mm,
that was dope. Cause I see
mm,
your style too, and I be like, damn, that's some dope shit that you
mm,
be doing. You know what I'm saying? So again, you know, um, what I mean, the battle word is a very, yeah, I don't like that
right.
term, bro.
No,
Because
that's a whole.
again, it
Mm,
makes it seem like it's too personal. Like I hate you, I don't like you, and that's how the
mm,
battle scene is to me. Like sometimes I look at it like it's a lot of ego involved, and I'm like, well, okay, but I want to see your skill. I want to see your skill level. I
right,
don't care about if you got 1,000 views or 1,000,000
right,
views.
right.
I want to just see your skill level. So you know, you know, my
Yeah,
main thing is just to keep it all the way clean. And I say I give a shout out to Midnight for bringing my name up. And yeah, I would have to say, yeah, to a certain degree, yeah, I started a lot of the animation wave, bro. Yeah, I did because again, I don't want to bring up no old news, but them dudes know I was calling dudes out from the Dragon House to they all know, man. And
everybody,
I
everybody.
was on one. I wanted to see your skill. I was like, I want to see you animate. You
Wow, yeah,
know, um, me and Kid Boogie, he knows. They all know. I don't got to sit here and lie about nothing, bro. I
right.
told Kid Boogie, let me see you animate.
Mm,
He can't. I
mm.
went right to that North Hollywood thing in 2017. I said, let me see you animate.
You should.
Again, there's no hate. I want to
Mm,
see you is
yeah.
skill versus skill. I don't care about that. I'm looking, I said, let me see you animate.
Mm,
Chinese, everybody was there that day. It was Pop and Pete was doing a workshop,
mm.
and I actually called out Pop and Pete because I said, and my animation can hang with your boogaloo. And
Oh,
again,
nice.
it was like I was so sure of my
Yeah,
capabilities that it wasn't supposed to be a disrespect. It was like
right.
skill versus
Right,
skill.
right.
It's the old school way. It's we're showing skill. Again, homie, it's nothing. It's like me.
Personal. Yeah.
I'm a low rider. I
Mm,
build cars. If I hop you, it's because I want to see how high your car hops. It's
mm.
the same principle. Like I want to see you get down. I want to see your
Right, yeah.
skill. It's
The
not
key
about.
is right,
I don't want to. It's not a hate thing. I'm like, let me see how you. Oh, okay, that was tight. Yeah, that was tight right there. You see what I'm saying? So
right.
again, when I see, my main thing is to skill. It's a skill thing, and I just would just say to all the new dancers, just study the culture and don't make it so difficult. Just
Mm,
study stop motion animation.
right.
Whether it's all the same names. It can be under dynamation, claymation, um, strobing.
Mm,
Strobing is close to stop
right,
motion, but remember, it's just the speed changes. That's what it is. It's the speed
right.
changes. But I gotta get out of here, man. We can,
Wow, Gizmo, I want to thank you for sharing all of this, and I
yeah,
know everyone here that also was here sharing questions and stuff. But I'm definitely I'll tag you in this so you have this so we everyone can watch this over again.
Michael
Uh,
Warren said, sin batting. Again, sin batting is just, yeah, it's just, that's
the
a
same.
term that the niggas said just to say you're doing stop motion. It's just, it sounds cool. Oh, yeah, he's sin batting. It's sin batting is stop motion
Right,
animation.
right, right.
It's stop motion.
Stop
It's
motion.
all about you're you're basically doing a character.
Hmm.
If you're gonna do a dragon, remember I told you you can
Hmm.
stop motion anything. You can stop motion you doing a worm. You can stop motion you digging a shovel in the ground, and
Right, right.
stop
It's
motion is what you
everything. Right,
do, man.
right,
Sinbad is stop motion. It's stop, stop, stop. You know.
right.
So that's study stop motion animation. Study that, man. Look at all the movies and study it. That's your homework assignment.
That's your
All you
homework.
guys
I love it.
study. The homework assignment is to study stop motion animation. Look at all the there's a whole lot of movies. Study stop motion.
Hmm.
Study it.
Mm.
Look at it. Absorb it. Then you understand what I'm saying. Study stop motion animation, bro. Frame by frame by frame by frame by frame movement, homie.
There it is. There it is, everyone. There
All
it
right.
is. We're gonna leave it on that note. Gizmo, thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing. I appreciate you taking this time.
All
For
right.
for sure.
So yeah, we'll
Uh,
touch base. I'm gonna
yeah.
get Hurdle on here like probably like tomorrow or something, and then
Okay. Yeah.
Hurdle,
Yeah.
but and then I'm gonna call him right now. But Hurdle, like I said, he has a hard time with his phone. So for
No
sure,
worries.
man.
Part two. Part two.
Okay.
All right.
All right, you
Take care,
guys. Remember
Gizmo.
your homework assignment: study stop motion animation, homie.
There it is. There it is.
All
Take
right,
care.
my boy. I'll talk to you later, G.
Yes, sir. Take care. Take
Right
care.
on.